They told you to hustle harder, to never stop, to push, to grind, to chase your goals like a starving dog. But they lied to you. Power doesn't chase, it waits, it watches, it calculates. The weak force outcomes because they fear stillness. But the strong understand that timing isn't just strategy, it's supremacy. Machiavelli didn't become the master of manipulation by pushing blindly. He waited. He studied kings, courtiers, cowards. He knew that control isn't taken by force, it's absorbed when others crumble from their own impatience. You, right now, you're probably trying to bend life to your will, forcing moves, rushing plans, choking on ambition. That's not strength, that's exposure. And exposure gets exploited. Desperation stinks. People can smell it, and predators are drawn to it. You want to be untouchable? Then stop acting like prey. Cold power isn't loud, it's silent, still, focused. The real threat isn't the man who fights, it's the man who waits for the perfect second to end everything with one move. No wasted energy, no emotion, just outcome. Comment this below so you never forget it. I sharpen my silence into a weapon. Number 1. The predator watches, then pounces. You don't climb to power by barking louder. You ascend by watching, silently, deliberately, like a panther in the dark. You breathe slower, think sharper, move less. Your presence becomes a calculation. Because predators don't waste motion, they don't act just to feel alive. They wait until the outcome is inevitable. Then they strike, once, surgically, without mercy. Most people move fast because they're afraid they'll fall behind, afraid they'll be forgotten, afraid that if they pause, everything collapses. But fear makes you sloppy. It makes you visible. And visibility is weakness. Understand this. In every room you walk into, someone is watching, measuring, weighing your energy. Predators spot noise, they spot insecurity, and they wait for the exact moment you overextend. But you're not here to be the hunted, you're here to become untouchable. That means you move with strategic silence, you observe patterns, you track behavior, you let others reveal themselves while you sharpen your instinct. They jump into battles for validation. You choose wars that guarantee transformation. They post their next move. You make yours in silence. And when the moment comes, you don't hesitate. You take the shot. Cold, precise, absolute. That's the difference between noise and power. Power waits, power studies, power survives. Because real dominance is never loud. It's undeniable. You don't need to prove anything. You need to win. Let them burn out, let them crash, let them chase smoke. You will become the storm they never saw coming. Number 2, power respects restraint. Power doesn't kneel to noise. It respects restraint, self-control, the discipline to hold back when your ego wants to explode. That's when you separate yourself from every average man on this planet. The world is addicted to reaction. Instant gratification, instant rage, instant collapse. But if you can master the art of non-reaction, you become terrifying, unreadable, untouchable. When you don't flinch, they panic. When you don't respond, they spiral. That's the psychological chokehold restraint creates. You turn silence into tension. You turn stillness into fear. Because in a world where everyone is emotionally naked, the man who hides his cards becomes a god. And make no mistake, power flows to the man who reveals the least. Machiavelli understood this. He warned rulers to appear virtuous, but never be ruled by virtue. Appear emotional, but never act emotionally. Smile if needed. Stay silent when provoked. Destroy only when necessary, and when you do, don't miss. Power is precise. It's not fueled by rage. It's controlled, cold, clinical. Don't force yourself into every fight. Don't explain yourself to those who don't matter. Learn to let people drown in the silence you leave behind. That's power. That's dominance. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You only need leverage and the patience to use it when the world thinks you've disappeared. Every time you hold back, you store energy. Every time you don't react, you absorb control. Then one day, you unleash hell, and no one saw it coming. Number 3, power is taken, never given. No one gives you power. Understand that. Swallow it. Let it hit your bones. Power is not awarded. It is not offered with open arms. It doesn't come as a gift. It doesn't wait for your name to be called. Power is seized, taken, ripped from the hands of the careless, the emotional, the distracted, the weak. That's the truth. And the longer you wait for someone to hand you the crown, the further you bury yourself beneath the ones who already understand this. They'll tell you, be patient, your time will come. They're lying. They're soothing you into obedience, into passivity, into spiritual death. No one will ever let you lead. No one will open the gates for you to walk through. They're too busy guarding the keys, too busy protecting their own thrones. If you want power in this life, there is only one path forward. You take it through leverage, through silence, through precision, through psychological dominance. That's the reality they don't teach in school. You see, the world doesn't follow the kindest man. It doesn't even follow the smartest. It follows the most certain, the most unshakable, the one who moves like he doesn't need to be followed at all. That's what people respond to. Not your potential, not your story, not your dreams. They respond to power, the weight of your presence, the tone of your voice, the way you don't flinch when others panic. Most men ask for power with their words. The few take it with their behavior. They speak without needing to raise their voice. They act without explaining themselves. And when they enter a room, the room shifts. Not because they're loud, but because they're clear. They've already made the decision that they don't need permission to lead. You want to win in this life? Then burn this into your mind. Power doesn't chase. Power attracts. Power doesn't apply. It positions. And how do you position yourself? By mastering what others avoid: solitude, discipline, restraint, cold thinking. While others are driven by likes, clout, or dopamine, you become immune. While they scream for attention, you become the one they can't ignore. That's power. And that kind of power, you don't wait for it. You become it. Machiavelli knew it. He didn't teach morality. He taught reality. He wrote not for the sheep, but for the wolves who understood the cost of the crown. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." And you don't need to be feared by everyone, just by the ones who thought they could control you. You take power by refusing to be manipulated, by studying every room like a hunter. You don't react, you calculate, you don't beg, you decide. And when the right moment arrives, you move, fast, clean, final, like a blade in the dark. No warning, no wasted motion. And remember, taking power isn't about chaos. It's not about anger. It's not about emotional rebellion. It's about calculated force. You don't need to fight every battle. You fight the right ones, at the right time, with the right outcome. This is how lions hunt. This is how kings rise. Most men spend their lives asking to be chosen, asking to be accepted, asking to be crowned. But those who truly dominate, the ones who shape empires, they don't ask, they become. So stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for things to feel right. Stop waiting for some cosmic green light to tell you it's your turn. That moment won't come. You either create your own moment or you'll die serving the man who did. Right now, you have two options. Keep playing the nice, obedient version of yourself that society approves of, or drop that mask and start thinking like the king you were born to become. Power doesn't respond to hope. Power responds to action. Ruthless, clear, intelligent action. Comment this below and let it echo through your blood. I don't wait, I take. Say it with intent. Say it like you mean to rewrite your story from this second forward. Number 4, never show them the whole war. Power is not just in action, it's in concealment. Control is not just what you do, it's what they think you're doing. And if you want to stay untouchable, you must master the most lethal discipline of all: strategic invisibility. Never show them the whole war. People are addicted to overexposure. They reveal their goals. They reveal their plans. They post every ambition online. Their entire map is public, and they wonder why they get intercepted. Understand this. You don't need to tell the world what you're building. You need to finish it in silence. A general never shows his full hand. A king never reveals his succession plan. And a true strategist, he lets the world see only what he allows. Misdirection isn't dishonesty. It's survival. It's power. It's protection. You think they want to see you win? Some do. Most don't. The moment your momentum threatens their comfort, they'll sabotage you, subtly, smiling in public, doubting you in private. That's the nature of weak minds. They hate what reminds them of their own failure. So don't give them ammunition. Don't feed them details. Give them silence. Give them mystery. Keep your war behind a curtain. Let them think you're resting while you're plotting. Let them think you're slowing down while you're building artillery. Let them underestimate you, because underestimation is a weapon, and it's one they hand you for free. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote, "A wise man does at once what a fool does finally." But here's the hidden truth. He also believed in hiding intent, pretending weakness, luring enemies into confidence, then ending them without warning. So when you move, do it quietly. When you grow, do it underground. When you strike, do it like lightning. Swift, fatal, with no explanation. Most people are predictable, emotional, loud, and easy to read, but not you. You'll become unreadable, untrackable, a ghost in plain sight. They'll think you've stopped, and then you'll own the room they thought was theirs. You'll walk in, and they won't even know how you got there. That's real power. The kind that creeps in, takes the crown, and disappears before the crowd even understands what just happened. The kind of power that moves like smoke, formless, but suffocating. And here's the deeper layer. Concealment isn't just about others, it's about you. Because the more you keep hidden, the more control you have over yourself. Your discipline sharpens, your mental edge increases. You no longer need applause to validate your vision. You become internally driven, immune to noise, immune to envy, immune to failure. That's why real warriors move in silence. That's why kings don't announce wars. They let their enemies do it for them. And by the time the drums beat, it's already too late. So here's your rule from this day forward. Never show them the full map. Never tell them your next target. Never share your hunger. Smile, nod, keep your sword behind your back. Every move you make, let it feel like a surprise. Let them wonder, guess, obsess, while you stay cold, still, and ahead. Because you're not here to be liked, you're here to win. And winning requires opacity, strategy, controlled chaos. You can't be touched if you can't be tracked. Let them see one layer of you, the harmless one, the quiet one, the calm one. Let them think you're average. Meanwhile, your empire is expanding in the dark. Comment this now. My silence is strategy, not weakness. Burn that line into your mindset. Live it. Number 5. Burn your need to be understood. If there's one virus that infects power, it's the hunger to be understood. That subtle ache, that craving to explain yourself, that desperate little voice whispering, if they could just see my intentions, if they just understood me, they'd support me. Kill it without hesitation. Because here's the brutal truth. That need to be seen, validated, recognized, it is the leash that breaks lions. It is the invisible chain around your potential. And worst of all, it's self-imposed. You handed them the chain, you let them hold it. Now you wonder why you can't move forward. Understand this, the higher your path, the lonelier your psychology. The deeper your vision, the less relatable you become. The more surgical your decisions, the colder you appear. That's the cost. And real power doesn't just accept the cost. It welcomes it. You're not here to be loved. You're not here to be understood. You're here to build, conquer, sharpen, and dominate. Silently. With precision. With zero need for applause. Let the crowd misinterpret you. Let them label you as arrogant, intense, emotionless. Let them paint you with their limited colors. Because they're not judging you, they're judging their own reflection in your ambition. Your focus reminds them of their distraction. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your discipline makes their weakness itch. You're not the villain, you're the mirror. And that's why they need to misunderstand you. Because accepting what you are means admitting what they are not. So they'll gossip, they'll laugh, they'll doubt you. That's part of the script. Don't edit it. Don't defend yourself. Don't clarify. Just watch and move and win. Machiavelli said, "A prince must learn how not to be good." He meant, don't let the morality of the sheep bind the instincts of the wolf. And wolves? Wolves do not explain themselves. Let the sheep talk. Think about the energy you've wasted trying to convince people who will never understand what you're building. Hours, days, years drained in conversations that did nothing but slow your progress. Stop justifying your evolution to people addicted to stagnation. You don't owe them clarity. You owe yourself elevation. Because here's what they won't tell you. Clarity is not something you give, it's something you own. Your vision, yours. Your fire, yours. It doesn't need to be translated, diluted, or packaged to make others feel comfortable. Let them misunderstand your silence. Let them misinterpret your discipline. Let them whisper that you've changed. They're right. You have. You've evolved past their emotional vocabulary. You've moved from validation to vision, and you never go backwards. You want to become untouchable, then burn your emotional dependency. The need to be seen, liked, included, approved of. It must die. That death is the beginning of real strength. From that moment forward, you will move like a weapon, a strategist, a ghost in plain sight. Most people are emotionally homeless. They seek shelter in other people's opinions. You build your foundation in solitude. You don't seek understanding, you seek results. And that switch, that rewiring of your psychological GPS, that's the beginning of unshakable power. Let's go deeper. Think of every powerful man in history, the rulers, the tacticians, the emperors, the disruptors. What do they all have in common? They were misunderstood. They made decisions no one agreed with until they won. They were hated, feared, mocked until they proved untouchable. They weren't chasing approval, they were chasing outcomes. And when the outcome came, everyone suddenly understood. That's how power works. It isn't explained, it's imposed. You either force the world to accept your reality, or the world forces you into its narrative. There is no in-between. So what do? You stop leaking energy. You stop bleeding explanations. You stop speaking to minds that can't comprehend you. You go internal. You become immune to noise. You harden. You start building systems, not sympathy. Power, not pity. Position, not permission. You play the long game. You sharpen your skills. You stay silent while they talk. You stay working while they judge. You don't flinch. You don't argue. You don't justify. You just become undeniable. Because once you become undeniable, you no longer need to be understood. Your results speak louder than your words ever could. Your presence silences doubt. Your actions destroy narratives. And the best part, you don't even have to say, "I told you so." The silence after your victory will do it for you. So stop begging people to believe in you. They're not supposed to believe. Not yet. Let them mock. Let them sleep. Let them gossip. That's all background noise. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your mind cold. Keep your mission sacred. If you're done trying to be understood, comment this below right now. I'm not here to be understood. I'm here to be undeniable. Say it, burn it, live it. And if this message struck something deep in you, if it made something inside shift, subscribe to Sig Rhythm right now. I don't make noise. I deliver weapons for the mind, real strategy, real psychology, no fluff, no filters. So if you're ready to kill the weakness inside you, click subscribe, hit that bell, and join the movement. Because this isn't motivation. This is evolution. Number 6, emotions are tools, not masters. They told you emotions are what make you human, that they're sacred, that feeling deeply is a strength. And yes, emotion is part of the human system, but it was never meant to sit on the throne. It was never designed to drive the car. Emotion is a tool, and tools are meant to be used, not worshipped. But look around. People are enslaved by their own feelings. They don't act, they react. They don't lead, they spiral. Their moods dictate their decisions. Their impulses ruin their positioning. They ride emotional highs and crash in emotional chaos. And then they call that being real. No, that's being weak. Emotion should never be your master. It should be your weapon. Something you wield. Something you deploy with intent. Not something that drags you by the neck into decisions you'll regret. The moment you let your emotions control your actions, you become predictable, trackable, vulnerable. And in this world, predictability is a death sentence. You're easy to read, easy to provoke, easy to manipulate, and that means you're easy to destroy. If someone knows they can trigger you, they already own a piece of you. If someone can bait you into overreacting, they already control your next move. So ask yourself, how many people are playing with your strings? How many reactions have cost you position? How many times have your feelings gotten in the way of your mission? Machiavelli understood this at a level most people will never reach. His cold pragmatism wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. He knew that a ruler who rules with his heart alone won't rule for long. A leader who tries to be loved by all eventually bows to the loudest voices, and the man who can't control his emotions is destined to be ruled by those who can. That's why power respects control, not just over others, but over self. You want to be feared, respected, followed, then master yourself first. Lock your emotions in a vault, analyze them like data, use them like fire, warm when needed, but never allowed to spread uncontrolled. You can feel, but you must never let them feel you. You can be furious, but your face stays calm. You can be disappointed, but your strategy stays intact. The mission never bends to your emotions. The mission stands above them. The most dangerous man in the room is not the loud one. It's the one who feels deeply, but acts rationally. The one who could unleash chaos, but waits, smiles, plans. The one who understands that true emotional mastery is not repression, it's transformation. You don't ignore your emotions. You convert them. Anger becomes fuel, pain becomes focus, sadness becomes silence. All of it, channeled, not leaked. Most people wear their emotions like broken armor. You wear them like concealed weapons, hidden, controlled, ready, but never flashing. That's what makes you lethal. When they push you, you don't react, you analyze. When they try to provoke you, you don't explode, you smile. When chaos hits, you walk through it like it was expected, because in your mind, it was. You've already prepared for it. You've rehearsed discomfort. You've trained in mental darkness. So when the storm comes, you move like a man who's been in worse. The masses will call you cold, distant, emotionless. Let them. That's the language of the emotionally fragile. They think emotion equals connection. What they don't realize is that power, real power, requires distance. You don't react to every hit. You don't respond to every insult. You choose your battles. You choose your timing. You weaponize your silence. And when it's time to act, you act with such brutal clarity, they'll think it was personal. It's not. It's just business, strategy, precision. If you're ruled by your emotions, you are a slave to every external force. But when you rule them, you become a force yourself, untouchable, still, calculating, lethal. You want to know who really runs the world? It's not the loud, it's not the emotional, it's the emotionally disciplined. The ones who can endure insult without retaliation, delay gratification without complaint, execute plans without needing to feel motivated. Because motivation is a child's fuel, discipline is a weapon. The undisciplined man needs a good day to perform. The disciplined man performs no matter what the day gives him. Your emotions are internal signals, not commands. They are messages, not orders. Learn to feel them, acknowledge them, then override them, coldly, confidently, like a king giving orders to restless advisors. Thank you for your input. Now step aside and you act. This is the emotional software update most men never install, and it's why they remain weak, always starting over, always explaining, always apologizing for what they did in the moment, not you. You erase those moments before they ever happen, because your feelings don't run your life, your strategy does. And here's the real truth. The deeper you go into this mindset, the less chaotic life becomes. You stop chasing highs, you stop fearing lows, you operate in a narrow band of focused intensity. You walk into rooms and control the temperature, not because you're loud, but because you're centered, stable, still. You are the gravity everything else adjusts to. That's emotional dominance, and it's rare. But once you master it, everything changes. People trust you more. Enemies fear you more. Allies respect you more. And most importantly, you trust yourself more. Because you're no longer guessing how you'll respond. You already know. You're not cold, you're calculated, you're not numb, you're in control, you're not distant, you're focused. Let them misinterpret it, that's fine. Let them think you're heartless while you outlast them all. Let them talk while you build. Let them feel everything while you execute with clarity. Because in the end, the emotionally unstable burn out, the emotionally predictable get manipulated, and the emotionally dominant, they build empires. So the next time your emotions rise, don't fight them, don't collapse under them, study them, harness them, convert them into clarity, because that is how kings are made, not by avoiding emotion, but by commanding it. Number 7, disappear from the noise, build in the dark. They crave attention. They measure their worth in visibility. Every move they make is broadcast. Every win, every failure, every fragile thought, plastered online for validation. That's the sickness of modern minds, an addiction to being seen. And yet, what's built in the dark lasts. You want real power? Then disappear. Not out of weakness, but out of strategy. You step back not to hide, but to construct, quietly, relentlessly. While the world is screaming, you're building silently. This is the law. The more you expose, the more you dilute your power. Because when they can see your every step, they can calculate your next move. They can mimic you, slow you down, or worse, attack you where you're vulnerable. Visibility is a currency, but overexposure is a liability. That's why the elite go quiet. The kings of every empire learned the value of darkness. The general doesn't reveal the full strategy. The hunter doesn't announce his approach. The architect doesn't show the blueprint until the structure is finished. Why? Because there's power in uncertainty. There's leverage in mystery. You must learn to withdraw your presence without losing your pressure. Just because they can't see you doesn't mean you're not watching. Just because you're not speaking doesn't mean you've stopped moving. You become the ghost they can't pin down, the threat they can't predict. While they're busy chasing likes and applause, you're stacking skills, stacking assets, stacking dominance. And by the time you re-emerge, you're not the same person they remember. You've evolved past recognition. Don't get caught in the noise, don't argue in the comments, don't announce your every move. Learn to disappear, not to be missed, but to become undeniable. Let your silence disturb them. Let your absence provoke curiosity, because when you build in the dark, you return unrecognizable and unstoppable. Number 8, ruthless selectivity. Not everyone gets access. Not everyone gets access to you, and if they do, you've already lost positioning, because power is proximity, and proximity is leverage. The more available you are, the more ordinary you become. Access must be earned, not assumed. You want to become untouchable. Then guard your time, your space, your energy, like a throne under siege. Because in this world, the man who controls access controls perception. And perception, that shapes reality. You have to stop being generous with things that cost you everything. Your attention is currency. Your presence is influence. Your focus is sacred. When you let just anyone into your world, You give them permission to shape your energy, dilute your clarity, and interfere with your trajectory. And most of them aren't coming to add, they're coming to extract. Most people are leeches in disguise, friendly, charming, approachable. But underneath, they're parasites, feeding on your vision, your progress, your momentum, slowly, quietly, with a smile. This is why ruthless selectivity is non-negotiable. You don't need to explain your standards. You don't need to apologize for your boundaries. You simply enforce them, coldly, cleanly, without emotion. If someone doesn't respect your space, your time, your mission, they're gone. No warnings, no second chances. Your empire is not a charity. Machiavelli understood this. He advised princes to keep their inner circles small, trusted, and strategically placed. Not because people are inherently evil, but because influence is power, and influence must be controlled. If someone can reach you too easily, they can shape you. If everyone has access to your mind, you've already surrendered control of your throne, and a king who can't protect his gates will lose his crown every time. Start filtering. Not everyone qualifies for proximity. You don't lower your frequency to be more relatable. You don't adjust your pace to keep others comfortable. You set your standard, and you make people rise to it. If they can't keep up, they're not meant to. That's not cruelty, it's evolution. Because every minute you waste babysitting the unqualified is a minute you've stolen from your future. Exclusivity breeds respect. Scarcity builds demand. When people know they can't just walk into your life, they adjust their behavior. They weigh their words. They don't waste your time. They come correct, or they don't come at all. And that's when you know you've shifted from accessible to undeniable. You're no longer one of many. You've become the one they can't replicate. You don't have to isolate yourself. You have to filter. There's a difference. You surround yourself only with those who enhance your focus, not distract from it. People who sharpen your discipline, not seduce your comfort. Your circle should challenge you, protect you, and multiply your power. Anything less is a liability, and liabilities get cut. You don't need more friends. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more conversations. You need more silence. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. And respect starts with control of your space, your energy, your access. So start treating yourself like the asset you are. Because in the end, your presence should feel like a privilege, not a product. Number 9, you are the end strategy. There comes a point in power where the strategy stops being external. It's no longer about the environment, the people, the obstacles, or the timing. Everything folds inward, and the only remaining strategy is you. Not your plans, not your projections. You, your presence, your perception, your discipline, your ability to remain unmoved in chaos, unshaken in betrayal, unbroken in silence. That is the end strategy. The final move. The king who doesn't react, the force that cannot be manipulated. This is the level no one talks about, the part where it's not about tactics anymore. It's about identity. You become the system. You become the storm. Everything you do, every room you walk into, every decision you make, it all radiates from a place of internal control so sharp it becomes undeniable. You're no longer playing the game. You've become the game. Most people are chasing outcomes. You're becoming the source. They're still trying to gain influence. You've become the gravitational pull. You don't move toward power anymore. Power bends toward you, not because you demand it, but because you've trained yourself to the point that you can't be ignored. This is the final shift. When you no longer see yourself as someone climbing, but someone commanding. You no longer obsess over what's ahead, because you know you'll shape it. You stop overthinking, because instinct has taken over. You stop doubting, because you've already burned the version of you that could be broken. There's only one version now, the one who moves forward, always. Machiavelli understood this, though he never said it in plain words. Behind every cold calculation, every political strategy, every manipulation, was a single principle: become the type of man no one can replace. Because once you're irreplaceable, you're unquestionable. Once you're unquestionable, you're untouchable. And once you're untouchable, you win by existing. You don't chase approval. You don't need recognition. You don't even care if they misunderstand you anymore. You've hardened beyond their reach. Your life becomes a fortress of movement, a silent machine. Every second you breathe, you're building something: leverage, clarity, distance, strength. And the louder the world gets, the quieter you become. Because kings don't compete, they command. You don't announce your dominance, you exude it. You don't bark your value, you embody it. You don't fight every fool who throws a stone. You simply build a castle so high, the noise can't reach you. You don't collapse under pressure, you absorb it. Because you've become the pressure. This is the final evolution. When you realize you are no longer part of the strategy, you are the strategy. Your moves aren't random, your silence isn't confusion, your presence isn't decoration, it's design. You walk like someone with no backup plan because you burned plan B months ago. You're not here to test the waters. You are the tide. So move like that, think like that, build like that. Let everything around you adapt to you. No apologies, no compromise, no fear. Just cold, deliberate progress every single day. If you're ready for that final level, comment this below: I am the end strategy. No more questions, no more doubt. You either become that or you serve those who did.